crushing a fucking mountain in 45 minutes, boys.
Titties.
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 Yeah.
That's good in the mustache.
Yeah.
Extra flavor.
What do you think? You did it. Yes.
How you feel, Nick? Feel alive?
Ready to get high.
Yeah. We're pretty high up here. Dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That peak over there is what I summited yesterday. It's called Piatawa. It's not as
I've done that one over there.
the small one.
Yeah.
That one is way more cool because there's no rules. We should do that one too tomorrow if you guys want. That one's way cooler. There's no park rangers. All the locals go there.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah.
I'm so shaky. My heart rate was like 179 all the way up this fucking thing. 45 minutes. Close now on Seabass's face. My camera won't zoom out, it's stuck on it.
Teaching what preparedness actually is. Mostly you think about preparedness, you get self-defense, because drawing that pistol sub-second on a target, a piece of steel, is a correlation. It's not. In fact, it's statistically improbable compared to stop and bleed vehicle accidents, cardiovascular disease. The list goes on of the things that we're thinking about. That doesn't mean we don't pay attention to it, because we most certainly we do, but it was a broader and bigger picture. The question I had from a business perspective was, how can special operators go out into harm's way every night? The Kyle Lambs of the world. How do they go out and block off helicopters and little birds and routinely come out on top? A lot of people think, which is false, that special operations is a dangerous job. No, it's not. Being a cook in the 82nd Airborne Division on a 50 cal going down Mount Irish in the middle of Baghdad in the height of war is the most dangerous job. Being a Green Beret infiltrating, fast roving onto a targeted building, which is an offensive action, is not that dangerous in comparison.
What do you think about it, Nick? Pretty dope.
The operation of the firearm, safety, fire control group, charge handle, bolt release, all that's the same, but it is not ambidextrous. No longer do we have to worry about a buffer group. We have now, everything is piston driven. Recoil is taking place inside the gun rather than inside your shoulder. This is going to be the closest you get to the military variant that's coming out right now. Anything that's in the civilian market is also going to be available in military and vice versa. This is the military grade optic that's coming out. It's 1:6 versus focal point, 10:6. The gun's going to be chambered with 6.5 pre-boot, 3.7 Fury, and 308. The price, but there's been rumors it's going to come down by the end of the year to around $4 grand. 8 racks right now, right? Exactly, and then you gun broker prices. They're gun broker prices. We get it. They like to make their mark. Other than that, it's 20 round standard magazine. This is going to be loaded with 5 rounds, 0 to 100 yards. We're going to load it for you per our standards here, and then you guys just flip the save and have fun. Sound like a plan?
Oh yeah.
Targets in front of you are at 100 yards. You can engage the further target if you want, but you have to stay directly in front of you. No hard left, no hard right. And just keep in mind, I don't have a spot, so I won't be able to call his focus on the prototype. Thick, man. Smooth. Very smooth. I was kind of taken aback the first time I shot it. I was expecting a little more. Also, my favorite feature though is to have a landing bolt release. That way I can just do stuff when I'm landing the drone. Feel free to adjust the scope where the stock is. You see fit.
How you doing today? I'm Jim, man. Aiden, nice to meet you. So this is basically the commercial variant of the Spear rifle. Okay? This is a 16-inch variant, no can, no optic. You're going to see these installs hopefully before the end of the year.
Right? That's the reaction I've been getting from everybody.
None of that over $20,000.
This right here.
Yeah, push it up and lift up at the same time.
The 6.8 over here because they still
Fire that way too.
Oh yeah. Now there is one cool feature, if I could take this real quick. One cool feature that I forgot to talk about, it's kind of my personal favorite, is it does have a 9% cadence side charge.
Oh, okay.
So definitely handy for clearing in the prone and or clearing malfunctions. I don't like clearing malfunctions up here.
Yeah.
I can get a nice on this thing, rack that thing.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Nice, right?
Yeah, that's really nice.
But he said that they're expected to see it on shelves starting at $39.99, which I don't know if that's a $4,000 rifle in all honesty. But at 6.5 Creedmoor, like, dude, the gun handled great. 5 for 5 at 100 yards on what, 6 power optic?
Yeah, the optic is really dope.
Yeah, the optic is nice.
And the trigger was
the
trigger was nice too.
trigger felt good.
It had a lot of
well,
letting it out. It had a bit let out.
I like the
It was a good audible click though.
I just am not convinced it's a $4,000 rifle.
Yeah. Hey guys, let's do the rattler.
Yeah, that was a really badass weapon. So that was Austin was saying was going to be the civilian version of what the Army's switching over to now.
How we doing, guys?
Good, how are you?
Good. Max.
Nick.
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 Austin. Welcome to Sig. We're going to be running MCX. We have the Rattler on the right. We have the Virtus on the left. Same gun, just different setups, right? They're both suppressed. We're running 300 blackout subsonic ammo, 220 grain ammo. It's 0 to 50. We got Tango 4Ts on both guns. What do you want to shoot? Rattler, come on up.
I stay behind you.
Well, how am I supposed to do this?
Stay on the steel in front of you, please.
Copy. Pretty sick. No recoil.
Assume you wanted the Rattler. All right, cool.
initial round. A lot of fun to shoot.
Beautiful weapon, man.
All right, thank you, man. Hey, you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
So does that have the same in the stock? You can fold it to the side and all that?
Yeah,
jazz?
both of those guns, you can break it off to the side.
Okay. What's the barrel length?
5.5 on the Rattler, 9 inches on the Virtus.
Okay. Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, that's what I was smacking. So I think I was pushing left. But I really like that.
Yeah, that's
a
dope.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
my
pretty cool.
curiosity is that we're going to have your cert, your SBR registration.
Oh, because of the stock. Yeah, we should have asked her about that. I forgot. I know I was looking at them before, but I can't remember what the MSRP on them was. I want to say they were like 26 or something like that. 24,
Yeah, but if
26.
it's shoulder fired, you can't put it to the shoulder.
Yeah, I'm just saying the price. I forgot what they were sell for. So we're checking out the Sig Crosses now. I looked at these before when I was thinking for a PRS rifle, but these were originally designed for as hunting rifles, so they have lighter barrels and shorter. But we just found out today that they make a PRS version of it. Check it out.
Man, Daniel Horner, come on down. Give him a big round of applause.
All right. What we got? Are we on? Yep, there we go. Okay, cool. Hey, so I've got the new Cross PRS here. Want to introduce this gun. We'll shoot a couple times. Try to beat Max's 777 thing with the bolt gun. Not funny? Not funny? Okay, cool. Hey, so this is a pretty cool gun. It's the next step from the Cross rifle that we had. The original Cross was focused on backpacking hunters, you know, going deep into the woods, up in the mountains out here in the west. This gun is more focused on just shootability and having a gun that if you weren't going to try to hump it up that mountain, would sit real still for you and give you the velocity that you wanted. So this gun is the next, like I said, the next step in the Cross. Still has the adjustable buttstock, still has the 60-degree bolt throw, ambidextrous safety, match grade trigger, quickly changeable barrel, so you can take the scope rail off of this gun, 2 screws out, take the fore end off, and then swap barrels, and you can go to any short action caliber with a 308 head that you want with this gun. Basically, this is a match rifle that is in production. So we took all the specs of the guns that I used to use when I was in the AMU to go shoot long range competition, and we built them into this gun. This gun is $24.99 retail, weighs 15.4 pounds. One of the cool things I like to mention to everybody, I have basically this exact same buttstock for a match rifle. That buttstock was about $1,400. This one does exactly the same stuff that it did, but the entire gun is $24.99. So you've got a ton of great features in this new rifle. This thing shoots extremely well. But another thing I want to talk to you guys about is the testing that SIG does. So we put a ton of time and effort and resources into testing guns before they get out into the market. Anybody want to guess at how many rounds we shot in testing at SIG last month? 10,000? Or 100,000? 250,000? Million? 4.4 million rounds in a month in testing.
Now we know why ammo prices are so high.
See? Right? And Mr. Jerry, how many rounds do you think you shot in your life? 3 million rounds, right? Three rounds. All right. So anyways, I just think that's an interesting number to keep in mind to see kind of what these guns go through as they go through the process that Kyle told you about of production, test, destroy, go back, test, and continue to build until you get something like this that is just an all-around great rifle. So I'm gonna shoot a couple bullets and then I'll get out of the way so y'all can see what you came here for. Drop down and shoot these orange steel here.
What distance is that one, Daniel?
Yes, sir.
What distance was that?
Oh, I'm sorry. That was, I think, 70. Let's go to 150. Look good. We got a target over there at 250. And we got one at 3. Whoop. Had a little wind to that guy. One more, guys. One more. There we go.
There we go.
All right.
Hey, there's a little wind today.
There's a lot of wind today. Doesn't look that bad. All right. Wind is up.
Hey, that's awesome. That's the Sig Cross PRS. Daniel, thank you so much. Give a round of applause, folks. Hey, we were out hunting one time, and I said, what's your technique when you go hunting in Louisiana? He goes, I just shoot him a while. Shoot him a while.
All right.
Whatever that means. Shoot him a while.
All right, let's do it.
All right, shooter ready. Stand by. Oh, 1.27. We got a 15, 13, 13, 14.
That's a defective timer. When I go to a match, I bring my own timing equipment.
Oh wait, what was that? That $20? Give me that $20 for a 12 split. That's what I meant to say.
All right, there you go.
Nice. Lita, come on down.
All right, so shotguns. Hopefully you don't see us over there, but if you didn't, you probably know that I love shotgun. It was my first love in the competitive shooting world because when you did it wrong, it hurt, so you learn real fast. But one of the bad things about a shotgun is that it's always empty. So I load with a technique, even though that this one holds 14 rounds total, I load what's called quad loading. So I pull 4 shells out, stacked in my hand, and then I go 2-2. Pretty cool.
Hey,
So
that's
we're
fast.
gonna do
I
that
would
for
clap
time.
right now.
I'm going to try to angle myself so you guys can actually see, but I'm just going to take one of those plates over there, load 4 or 8. What are you feeling? 4 or 8 shells? 8. All right. I'm going to load 8. That would come up for 1 shot. So it'll just be 1 shot, load 8, 1 shot. We'll see how quickly that happens. May actually chamber it. Yesterday, every single time I didn't have one in the chamber, and I almost fell over each time. So let's see how this goes. Ready?
Shoot ready. Stand by.
No! I'm gonna do that one more time. I didn't like any of it. It can be better. Don't clap for me. Don't clap for me. That didn't earn it. 1 second.
Yeah, that was terrible. 4.75 seconds to load 8 rounds, and I don't see any dropped shells. I think they all ended up in the gun. I thought it was great. It looked good to me.
No, it lies. Lies. I can do better. I know.
4.75. You guys must not know how hard that is to do. That is really difficult.
Well, no, I told him not to clap. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
You did very well. Okay.
Let me get out of the way.
Now I'm really ready.
Okay, she's really ready. We're not messing around this
That
time.
was for funsies.
Shoot ready? Stand by.
I don't know. I loaded 10.
Yeah, there's a bunch of ammo going in there. 6.30. That was awesome. Big round of applause. That is awesome.
It's okay.
You want to race?
Let's race.
Oh, a race. You said a race. Let's race.
Do we have our 4 targets put back up real quick? Thank you. Kyle,
All right,
one of your
perfect.
hands. Thank you.
All
Well,
right,
this is
I'm
on.
excited.
This
This
is
is
what
fun.
happens when you bring family to the range. Every time. Every single time.
Now I brought in my small gun for this.
I see that. You're a little scared?
Yeah, I'm scared.
He might be running similar looking platforms, but let me tell you all the fancy features he's running in comparison to me. To
Jerry,
make my excuse
yeah,
now.
Don't make us
So
look
his
bad.
I won't, brother.
Don't make us look bad.
No, I won't do it.
Okay.
I won't do it.
So his shotgun holds what, 17 rounds?
That's all.
Just a mere casual 17 rounds. He's got an optic on it along with porting on the barrel. What's the porting do? Helps immensely with recoil management. And,
Hey,
yeah.
you
No
must
big deal.
realize I could have seen your discounted coffee at McDonald's. So I get to see a little bit.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So what are we going to do, Lena?
Let's race to the middle on the top plate. So that's 11 rounds. Let me make sure I'm loaded all the way up.
Jerry, she gave you the bad side of the range over here.
I know, that's the
Man,
fast lane.
I don't know. This is like senior abuse.
She talks bad about me, and then she takes the fast side.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Nothing like a family.
A family
Good
feud.
family, yes.
So it's up to you guys to watch these center 2 plates here because we have a thing where we always think we both win. So you guys watch and you hold up, right for Jerry, left for me, and we'll see who makes it to the middle first.
All right. Shooters, are you ready? Stand by. Whoa! 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 Yeah! Wait. We got some more to do. I think we got to have one more competition, Jerry.
I'm on a roll, but
Hey, could you guys set them up real
We'll
quick?
get you another box.
You got more ammo? You got more ammo?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do another competition. You guys good with that? Jerry, is that forearm feeling strong? Okay, so we're going to do, how about one-handed? One-handed.
not with this there.
No, one-handed. He's leaving. I just upset Jerry. He's out of here.
One-handed what?
One-handed, 4 plates. One-handed.
So, I just want you all to know that that man's forearms are the size of my calves. So this seems slightly unfair, but I'm here to play.
Yeah. Oh, he's got
first. You go first.
How'd you go with it? Oh,
You go first.
you're such a,
Ladies first.
such a cheat. One-handed.
Okay, 4. One-handed.
Oh, muzzles up.
Muzzle up.
We're clear.
Oh yeah, you see that bar? That's how you really mess with your friends and hold them up. Makes them feel real bad. Right?
All right, 4 plates with one hand.
All right.
Shooter ready.
Ready.
Stand by.
Ah, my safety. I did
You
it.
hit that one.
I did it.
636.
I had it on my shoulder.
636.
Come on, these are so
All right, Jerry. All right. Shooter ready. Got to be the 636. Stand by.
Oh, sorry, that's my fingers were long.
That's some bad ammo, Bubba.
So I won technically that. Thank you.
I'm speechless. Okay, you win. You win. Yeah. Hey, right now, if that was NASCAR, if that was NASCAR, I'd say Jerry's in the wall. He's in the wall and the car's on fire. And there ain't no airbags. Hey, let's do that again. Let's do it again. Load him up again.
All right, I'm ready.
Are you loaded? Okay.
Hey, that's cool. Well, very cool. Thank you for coming down here. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Oh yeah, I've been listening on it. So, just.
Oh, yeah, it's still, that's fun time.
We all 3 going in? Can we all 3 go in?
Yeah, come on.
All right, cool.
That's awesome to meet you. Max.
Nick, nice to meet you.
Let's do down a little bit more.
We'll cut along.
What's up, man? I love you.
Here's a target for you.
Oh.
Did y'all road trip it out?
We flew.
Oh, come on.
Cincinnati, are you guys Bengals fans?
This year. I guess, yeah.
Joe Burrow, I'll let you guys borrow him.
You know what? We don't get a lot of
Thank you.
a lot of lightning ride.
Hey, y'all gonna be good for a while. LSU gave you guys a couple of good ones for a long time.
Yeah.
As much as I hate to say it, I'll take what I can.
You guys hear me okay? Yep. Right there? Hey. All right, hey, first off, thanks for supporting the Freedom Days. Thanks for supporting this. And more importantly, thanks for coming to listen to me because I do feel like I'm probably the most important thing in your day. So thank you for that. Admin thing, it's hot, it's sunny. I don't want to stick to the 20 minutes. I want to give you a full experience. I want to allow you guys to answer questions about the NGST program or anything else we can do. So if you are hot and you want to get up and leave, I won't take it personal. Also, if you get up and leave because you don't like what I'm saying, I can always just assume that you were feeling a little too hot. So that's perfect, right? Just as a side bonus here, I will be calling a couple people up from the crowd when we're done. We'll probably try to get about 4 folks to shoot a machine gun. Do we have any mothers with their sons here?
Mother and son? Okay, so we'll do you two. You get to pick one favorite son. You got two of them. Maybe you guys need to like fight to the death. All right, but if I can get you and one over there, and then if I can get right over here, the two of you guys to come up and shoot, we'll take care of that for Mother's Day. So at the end of the event, we'll bring you up in before you have an opportunity to shoot. So really appreciate that. We've been doing a kind of a tradition here. It started with us being media puppets for everyone here. So on the count of 1, 2, 3, we'll yell Freedom Days. If that's okay with you guys, it'll be 1, 2, 3, go. If you're ready, 1, 2, 3.
Freedom Days!
That was really. I almost said 4, but that was 4. Right, you got to do a little bit better than that one. I'm not going to make you do it. I'm Jason St. John. I'm the Director of Strategic Products for the Defense Strategies Group. This is Kyle McAuliffe. He's the Operations Manager for Defense Product Management. And Doug Alvin, who is the Lead Gunsmith for the NGSW program. And all those titles mean is that there was no one else below us on the totem pole that got to stand out here in the range and brief you guys on the NGSW program. So this is it, basement level. So we're the bottom of the spectrum. So I hope you enjoy everything we got going on.
Not yet.
I'm not trying to be braggadocious, but I have been on some YouTube videos. I don't suggest that you watch the comments. I do think you should, or watch the content. I think you should go to the comments. They're as entertaining as that guy looks like he eats blood holes for breakfast. And what I would say to you is I don't think for breakfast that's very important. It's the most important meal of the day. Maybe a late afternoon snack, maybe a lunchish thing with a mimosa, but mostly I think they're kind of empty calories. Another beautiful one is whatever alien life form that is on his face, I feel sorry that he couldn't find a better host, which I thought was very good as well. So if you do, or any of this gets up on YouTube, please take the time to be as inventive as you can. As inventive as you can. I think the comments are hilarious. We sit around in the office when we're supposed to be working. We laugh at them. We have a good time. So if you are one of that put comments in, thank you very much. You brighten my day a lot of times. So what I want to do here, guys, is I want to talk not just about the NGSW program and our exciting NGSW win. I also want to kind of give you how we got into machine guns and kind of a little look into SIG a little bit. And then, like I said, allow you guys to answer some questions because I'd like to give you an opportunity. You know, there's a lot of myths and rumors over the program that's gone over the last 2.5 years that hopefully I can dispel. So if you guys would appreciate that, I would appreciate the fact of candor, and I do anything I can do to enlighten you as much as I can. Things I can talk about, the Army does not want any talk about bullet performance and what the bullet does. So, you know, there's public information about velocity and stuff, but the intent of the program and what they're trying to do, we've been asked to keep quiet on that, and truthfully, we don't really know the details of what they were trying to do or what their intentions were to begin with. So I'm not trying to be secretive, I just don't know. Just to give you an idea, every single projectile that we shot of the Army's, we shot into a sand trap. We had to sift the sand, and they had 100% accountability of the projectiles, and we weren't allowed to do anything with them other than dispersion and velocity. So that's how serious they were taking it, and I just don't have anything to give you on that. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk how SIG got into machine guns. So Ron Cohen, our CEO, was a member of the IDF Army. He came home when he was a young man, and he was bragging about shooting the Mag 58, which is our M240. It's the FN M240, right? And his dad said, that's the same machine gun I shot when I was in the Army. Ron Cohen's son is now in the IDF Army, and he's still shooting Mag 58. And so Ron has had a life's passion to make sure that his grandchildren aren't shooting the same gun that his great-grandparents were when they're in the Army, right? The same 27-pound, you know, behemoth of a machine gun they're carrying up and down the mountains. He wanted to give them something new and innovative. You could probably talk it as good timing as much as strong initiative, and those things coming together. Obviously, timing is everything. Ron built the company up from when he came on. When SIG was, okay, I'll give you a trivia question. How many people know what the owners of SIG paid for SIG? 1 German mark, $1. They were actually buying Blaser, and Blaser was owned, or SIG was owned by the same people, and they said, we want you to take it off our hands. They didn't want it. And they said in their negotiations, if you don't take it, Blaser's not for sale. And the lawyer said, well, I've got a German mark in my pocket. They said, fine, take it with it. We don't want anything to do with it. When Ron Cohen came into the business 15 years ago, we were between $13 and $15 million a year in revenue. We assembled 226s, 229s, and owned a couple of legacy contracts, and even considered renting out our warehouse space to other manufacturers so we could make payroll. That that was just 15 years ago. And so you can see under his guidance and leadership where we've ended up as a company. Last year, we obviously broke records. The last year before that, we broke records in revenue and sales. And so about 5 years ago, Ron decided that we really wanted to be a total systems provider. We wanted to have optics, ammunition, firearms, suppressors. You've seen us move into the air rifle field and other elements so that we could expedite the developmental process. So when you look at these weapon systems, if I had to wait for a vendor to develop a suppressor for me, while we're working on the firearm and another vendor's working on ammunition, you can see how much longer that would take to develop, rather than all being developed in concert with each other and having the ammunition, the firearms, the machine gun, the suppressor, and the ammunition engineers all underneath the same roof. So all the co-development happened at the same time. Any issues that were encountered, they flashed and bang on turning iterations is much faster than Sig Sauer. Ron has he's got a pretty famous saying that he says, we have 25 hours in the day at SIG because everyone wakes up an hour earlier. So that's his deal. I don't know how the math works, but he seems to believe that we get preached all the time to wake up earlier, more out of the day. So because of all the business success and diversifying the industry, Sig Sauer, we were able to start investing in machine guns. And if you see the 338 machine gun, that was our footsteps in the beginning venture we had in machine guns, and then the light machine gun came after that. And that was about 4.5 years ago. So to go from a company that had 0 machine gun experience and 4.5 years later to be accepted by the U.S. Army for the largest small arms ammunition and weapons program in the history of the United States says a lot about our innovation, our drive, our desire, but mostly about our leadership's intent to make everything as efficient as possible and for us to meet that intent. So we're very excited to work for SIG. Obviously, you guys are excited to be part of SIG, and we thank you for your support. So when you look at the Next Gen program, this program started about 3.5, 4 years ago, and the Army came up with a problem where they said, the guns have to shoot X velocity. And at the time, the only way you could reach those velocities was with a longer barrel within conventional ammunition. On the defense side, the majority of the individuals on our team are retired veterans, and we thought it was important from a design perspective to provide the Army with an M4 style and a belt-fed M249 style firearm, not only for familiarity, but realistically, we as military individuals didn't want to be a part of taking the machine gun out of the squad, and therefore 6 machine guns out of the platoon. We thoroughly believe in having machine guns in the infantry platoon, so we didn't want anything to do with that. The dilemma we had is with an 18 and 20 inch barrel, we couldn't meet the Army's overall length requirement. And so we were kind of wondering how we were going to solve it. So we had a meeting with a gentleman named Jason Imhoff at our ammo factory. And Jason was a long-range shooter and a reloader. And he always ran into the same problem that we've ran into, is every time you reloaded ammo, when you try to push the envelope, the primer pocket fails, right? Pressure, dimpling, cookie cut, primer pocket deformation, all those types of things. And so that was always the limitation. And he said, well, I've been bouncing around an idea that I have. And he said, I'd like to do a 3-piece ammo which fixes the problem of the primer pocket. And so it's now a 2-piece, but the 3-piece ammo that we have is our hybrid ammunition, which is a steel base and a brass case. So brass has been being loaded, for what, 160 years? So brass has been being loaded for 160 years for one, it's easy to work with, right? It's malleable, it's relatively inexpensive material, and there's a lot of value in it, right? Spans in the chamber, provides good net tension, it's easy to make, right? And so we wanted to keep all the values of that brass, but while fixing the problems that it had within the primer pocket. So when you look at the ammunition, it provided us an opportunity to go from where brass fails at 68,000 kpsi, give or take a little bit depending on brass manufacturer and caliber, right? There's a little bit of variation in there. And we are now able to, and haven't made our ammunition fail yet, with conventional powder and conventional primers up to 120 kpsi. So our ammunition has the capability to go almost 2 times the level of pressure that you're seeing within your conventional standard brass ammunition. It probably has a potential to go more, but like I said, we haven't tested it with anything other than conventional powders. This is, in my opinion, the future. The first day I came to SIG and I got my interview, when I got out of my interview, I went back with a gentleman I worked with named Robbie Johnson, and he took me back to the defense closet. It was just a closet. It was comboed and had guns and stuff in there, right? And he opened up a little Tupperware case, and it was this ammo in there, and I had seen it within 5 minutes of working there. I'm like, what's the deal with that? And he explained higher pressure, higher velocity, standard caliber, and I was like, that changes everything. And I think it does change everything if you consider, I predict that in 7 to 10 years, the world's a completely different place with high pressure, high velocity leading from the forefront. Every one of us here, when we go to magazine stands, we see all the gun rags out there, and there's invariably 2 to 3, maybe even 4 cartridges a year that are come out, right? You know, every year there's the new cartridge, Really, the last one that really took hold was what? 6.5 Creedmoor, right? That's probably the last one that took hold. When was that, do you think? Probably 10 dozen years ago, probably at this point? How many cartridges have been developed since then that haven't got a foothold? Because all we're doing at that point is we're playing with taper, shoulder, adding a little case capacity, just doing a little tweaks here within the conventional realm to get an extra 50, 60, 80 feet per second, and we try to improve it. So the next time someone wants to come out with the latest, greatest, hottest 6.5, and they come out with a 6.5 habanero, right, because it's hot and fast, hotter than a jalapeno, that's like 25 feet per second. The habanero gives you about 80 feet per second. Right? The problem is now you have to buy either a new gun, a new barrel, new reloading equipment. If I just have a 6.5 Creedmoor, I put the hybrid technology into it, and if I run in at 77 to 78 kpsi, I'm going to gain 350 feet per second. If I bring it down to 70 to 71 kpsi, I'm going to give you close to 200 feet per second. All right? Now, modern firearms are all proof to 80 kpsi, saying they run 20% over what their operating pressures are, right, for safety. There's no reason or intent for them to have to ever test their weapon systems past 80 kpsi because it's never reality. So what I'm hoping for, and what we've seen with some of our weapon systems, is once the hybrid high-velocity ammunition becomes available, they can take their existing and your existing inventory of weapon systems. I'm hoping that manufacturers will start proving them to 90 kpsi, and now this ammo qualifies. Just to give you an idea of what we're talking about with the ammo, in 308 175 grain Sierra matching, I consider that a very bellwether type of load that most people are pretty familiar with. I can give you 2,980 feet per second out of a 16-inch barrel. Out of a 10-inch barrel, I can give you 2,680 feet per second. All right, so when you look at what you can do, that's a shorter barrel, giving you longer barrel performances. You'll see, you know, we're just like any other company, right? We do videos about the products we're going to release, and they'll be out here in 3 months, and you'll see them in a year. All right, I didn't say that out loud, but every company does it. You'll see that once we field the spear, the plan is going to be 6.5, 308, 38, and then after that, we're going to move into a spear rattler. All right, we've already got it designed. Doug's already built it up, and we've already been shooting it now for a while. All right, it's an 8-inch barrel with a rattler gas strap on the end, and you're getting 16-inch velocities with the hybrid ammo out of an 8-inch barrel. That's a hell of a truck gun. Okay. Now, most importantly, from the military perspective, we've been doing some evaluations on penetration, right? So, AR 500 quarter-inch steel. If I give you hybrid 6.5 Creedmoor, I can outperform a 338 conventional Norma Magnum with the same projectile on AR 500 steel. So I'm putting you 350 feet per second faster. All right, sectional density, smaller, narrower bullet. It's easy to think of, right? I'm punching a pin instead of punching a pencil, right? So it makes a little bit of sense why it goes through there. But to think that a 6.5 Creedmoor machine gun this size has some capabilities to do what that big machine gun should, it really blows my mind. I was a sniper and a competitive shooter for 15 years in the Army, and all I thought about it was 350 feet was further, flatter, better against the wind, right? So I was like, but more importantly, from 800 and in, I shouldn't miss, right? So that's what my excitement was, is where in reality, where the rubber met the road from that roll. But the real excitement truly is the fact of what it can do from a penetration perspective. All right, and for you guys, the excitement is I can get an 8-inch barrel that shoots 16-inch velocity. All right, so that's what made it possible for us to be in the M4 style and the belt-fed machine gun, because now we can have a 13.1-inch barrel that's going faster than 3,000 feet per second with the 6.8 projectile. All right, so that's exciting news for us. So let's go ahead and talk about the guns themselves. So We'll start with the XM5, or what we call commercially the Spear. It's on the rifle deck in 6.5. If you haven't shot it, want a chance to shoot it, it's down there. It's a 13.1 inch barrel. It's 8.34 pounds. It has a folding and collapsible buttstock. It has fully ambidextrous safety, mag catch, bolt release, or mag release, and then bolt catch and bolt release. All right. It's got a standard charging handle for everyone that has the standard manual of arms that they've used year after year for their malfunctions. And then it also has a side charging handle that is non-reciprocating and captured. You can't pull it back. So when you're carrying it, you don't have to worry about it rubbing against your body and coming to the battery and you have a failure. You can't pull it back because it has a detail, it has a ball here, or a nipple that catches on that. It's smooth, so there's no snag hazards when you're coming out of a vehicle or anything like that. Just like our MCX, I've got a barrel clamp that is with a T27 Torx. I take that off, pull the barrel with extension, I slam a new barrel on it, and now I've either changed barrel length or I've changed caliber. All right, if I was the Army, I would want a 6.8 and a 7.62 version because these are the things we thought about. A couple things. Austere environments, 7.62 NATO ammo is available, and also the existing stockpiles. But additionally, I'd want a 7.62 barrel because Army facilities are going to have some limitations when it comes to 6.8 ammo on their surface danger zones. So we try to make sure we addressed every potential issue that they could find within the building of this weapon system and gave them an easy solution. We think that was one of our big secrets to success. It's a 2-position gas valve on a gas piston gun. It's normal and adverse, and it runs suppressed, unsuppressed in either of those positions. Adverse is just if you don't oil it, or if it gets dirty and it's in a sandy environment, you put a little bit more juice to it, and that pushes through that slow running cycle of the weapon system. The XM250 is what we, based off our light machine gun. It is 12.1 pounds without the suppressor, which is 6 pounds lighter than a saw, which it replaces. And from a performance perspective, it is greater than 308, and it's 15 pounds lighter than an M240. All right? I know some of you guys had a chance to pick up the 338. If you haven't on the way out, pick it up. That gun as configured is 25 pounds. It's still 2 pounds lighter than a 240 that everyone's been carrying for the last 20 years in combat. All right, when you pick that gun up, you're going to be like, holy crap, this thing is heavy. It's still lighter than what they're currently carrying, but it's giving you a 338, but just to think in perspective. All right, we don't have the folding buttstock. We believe that the Army will move to the folding buttstock, but we don't have a folding buttstock on the gun because we needed a 1/4 inch of overall length on the barrel to make sure that we were going to be in a safe zone on velocity, so we just didn't have a cold day and fall below their velocity requirements and get thrown out of the competition. All right, we believe this is an easy swap. This fits in. It's a Picatinny rail mounted on the T27 Torx, just like the MCX, and we'll have a folding buttstock on it. You'll see it on the black quick change barrel guns. You'll see the folding buttstock. That's a change we think the Army will do. It's left side charge. Our black gun is left side and right side charge. We think the Army will go there to give the user preference. All right, but that's where we're at on this. It has a 3-position safety, full auto. Semi is 45 degrees, so we get the opportunity not only for doing CQB with your squad automatic rifle, but also now that you've gone up in caliber and you're shooting 8 to 1,200 meters, and the beaten zone of your machine gun grows, you can pull back the semi-auto fire and put more effective range at 1,200 meters on target. We have a side opening feed tray rather than a back to front opening feed tray like you see in traditional machine guns, and the reason on that is because of inline thermals and inline I-squared optics. If you open back to front, you're going to interfere with each other. And you can't get the feed tray open with an inline on it, so we open up in that relationship. We maintain sub-minute and half accuracy when we close the feed tray. Some people have that question. You can load the machine gun traditionally with the feed tray open, or with a loading spoon, or even pushing the ammo in. You can load it by just pulling the ammo 2 clicks, and now the gun's loaded. One of the problems with M249s and 240s is that you can't charge it while it's on safe. So if your aircraft loaded with the bolt forward, you got the ammo sitting on top. If you're in a vehicle or you're on a helicopter and you're getting ready to get off, you have to put the gun on fire, pull the charging handle to the rear, pull the charging handle, then put it on safe and ride it forward, or you'll sear bind, and then you got to start all over, right? It's not really that safe to be on a bouncing CH-47 with a machine gun on fire and you're trying to get ready to get on the objective, right? So this one you can charge on safe. Aircraft loaded, charge it on safe, no issues, no problems. When you go forward on the gun, same two-position normal adverse gas regulator. We have a 16-inch barrel to achieve the velocities on this. And then if you look at it, the new design will actually have a hinge where this is sustained so that the gunner doesn't worry about losing this. But to change calibers, all it is a thumb clamp and the barrel comes off. And then that clamp cannot be manipulated because the handguard captures it in that position right there. You know, the things we think about is our magazine well is M-lock attached because we might want to come up with a new method in the future. So we don't want to make sure that we have to build a whole new receiver. We can just change our attachment method out for our box magazines. Currently, the box magazines are 50 and 100 rounds for the gun. And that's the XM250. All right, so when we talk about our suppressors, so we participated in a program called Surge for US SOCOM, and this was the first program in the military where they had designated that toxic fume blowback was a large concern for the health of the end user. Meaning everyone here that shot a suppressor, especially if your gun's freshly oiled, by the time you get done, what's your face and your shooting glasses look like? They're just completely covered up with oil and everything, right? So the gases that are coming back in the shooter's face are hydrogen cyanide, that doesn't sound good. Ammonia, that's why your eyes are watering, right? Carbon monoxide, no big deal, you know? I used to stand behind the cutlass at my dad's in the winter and be like, man, gas smells so good. So that's how you end up in this position, all right? He beat my butt for that. But whatever, it did smell good. But and then you got lead particulates, sulfur, copper particulates, and all that stuff. So ingesting those for us is probably not as as bad as it is for the guy who's shooting 500 rounds in a CQB house on a day of training, right? And there's 5 of you guys shooting, or 4 of you guys shooting in that one room day after day, hour after hour. You can see how there's some health concerns. So anyways, their goal for the Surge program was to suppress an M4 and have the toxic fumes in the shooter space to be equal to an unsuppressed M4. The current suppressor they had at the time had 385 parts per million blowback in the shooter space. An unsuppressed M4 had 100. For those that have shot suppressed, unsuppressed, that probably seems about right. We did not believe there was any way that anyone was going to be able to achieve 100 parts per million and get a suppressed gun to equal what an unsuppressed gun does. We actually reached out to MIT, Minnesota Institute of Technology. We couldn't afford the Massachusetts one. And we talked to some folks there. They weren't able to solve the problem, but they knew an individual who had worked in predictive modeling for gas flow. And so we actually invested in our own software for gas flow dynamics so that we can CAD model our suppressors, design the baffles and the ports, and we can predetermine the pathway of the gas, so then we can redesign without having to go through trial and error. All right, and so what we're able to do now is, especially since we print our cans, we're able to have a good flash to bang. Instead of going iteration, what's this one do, build another one, we brought all manufacturing suppressors in-house, we print them all, and our flash to bang on these is we could come up with a new suppressor design and really build them and test them within a week and a half. So that's quite impressive when we have a good idea of knowing what they're going to do. That process would have took 6 to 9 months with outside vendors before. And that's with our weight behind it, right? So think about how streamlined that process becomes. So the end of it was we were able to get the suppressed M4 with our Surge suppressor down to 70 parts per million. So our suppressed Surge has got less toxic fume blowback to the shooter than an unsuppressed M4. So that was a huge success for us. And just what I would tell you militarily, for those that are interested, the military is going to transition lightly away from sound. Sound has always been the priority on suppressors for 100 years, right? Since the early 1900s. They're going to transition away from sound a little bit, understanding that toxic fume blowback, flash, ground disturbance, and all those things are now becoming priorities. You'll actually see on some of the contracts, they really only want 4 or 5 decibel improvements on a suppressor, which is nothing, because the other things are much more important to them. They're not worried about not being heard. They don't want to be seen. They don't want the enemy to see flash, and they don't want to see a big dust cloud during the day. So they've got other priorities sound. So I think you're going to see a transition in the military where decibel level is really 140 is kind of the benchmark of suppressors, at least militarily. You're going to start seeing that climb to 143, 145, as long as they can get the trade-offs for those types of things they're looking at. We took that technology and we put it in our SLX and our SLH suppressor. This suppressor is available commercially. It's on the NGSW guns. This is a sales pitch piece. That's where I get the job. And so, really, if you look at the two differences between the suppressors, the SLX focuses on gas blowback. The SLH focuses on sound and pressure. So if you're looking to buy a suppressor and you're going to shoot a lot of subsonic applications, you're going to need the pressure to run your weapon system. So you need an SLH. They both pass gas. That was funny. All right? But one does it more efficiently than the other, and they both suppress sound. One does it more efficiently than the other, if that makes sense. All right, in addition, we have our clutch lock system. Our clutch lock, we were really worried. If you look at our big machine gun, we have that as a 2-wrench system to put the suppressor on, because not only do we have a reciprocating barrel, machine gun fire, we're worried about it unlocking under fire. So our clutch lock system evolved to where it survives on a machine gun. And what it is we've got 3 cams that rotate into the relationship with the flat bearing surface of the muzzle device. And as you rotate that cam, or you rotate the collet, those cams bite in. As the suppressor tries to loosen, it actually tightens itself. The cam continues to bite and tighten. So the cam cannot come off the gun while firing. So that's an exciting thing. With cams and quick detachments, repeatability is a big question, right? On-off repeatability. The standard in the industry for, let's call it a sniper application, is when I take it on and put it back off, I want no more than 1 minute of angle shift. Our shift is less than half a minute. I don't know. Some things I don't know if we fall into, and some things I don't know if we design into, but the fact of the matter is, it's probably the best shift on the market. We make our cans in Inconel, and we make them in titanium. Inconel for the next-gen guns because they got to be durable to 20,000 rounds, and there also can be no sparking that's usually associated with titanium cans. I think the one thing I'll probably get from a question from you guys is recoil. All right? What I want you to understand is the Army wanted a mid-caliber solution. There's no way to give a mid-caliber solution in a small caliber platform, so you're going to see the platform grow. You can expect 308 recoil in the spear, and then in the machine gun we have a reciprocating barrel, op spring, and then we got a recoil reducing buffer spring. The gun recoils less than an M4 shoulder fire, which is really awesome, right? 12.1 really recoils less than an M4. All right, take 5 or 6 questions. Do I have any questions? Yes, sir. Your question is armor piercing. Okay, you might have come up late. I'm not allowed to talk about any performance characteristics of the gun or the ammunition based on velocities or penetration capabilities or any intent. So I'm sorry I can't help you on that. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Yeah, so I think the question was, will this hybrid ammo become commercially available hunting-wise? Is that what you said, sir? Did I get kind of the gist of it? Sorry, they got a really loud 10 mil. I thought about telling you all that you all get a free box of 10 mil ammo when you leave here, so I don't have to listen to that damn thing. I'm sure you'd have took me up on it, but we were laughing about that before the show. Yes, right now there is the 277 Fury, and a lot of people ask me, well, you know, when's it going to be available? And I'm not trying to be a smart butt, but when is any ammunition going to be available, right? We stock the shelves, and everyone stakes it up as soon as they can. So we're currently building the ammo. We're shipping to distributors. I don't have an answer for you, but we do have 277 Crosses and 277 Fury. I think we've already got the 6.5 Creedmoor developed. We've already got the 308 developed. You know, we're going to work towards releasing that probably along with 6.5 and 308 spears and crosses so that we can have that direction. You know, some of the concerns that you're going to have that we have is if I give you an 80 kpsi round in 308, about half of you are going to stick that in your regular 308 and say, let's go, let's see what it does. And what I'll tell you about it is, we've run our high pressure 308 in our 716, and we wanted to see what would happen. And initially we were pretty like, okay, this is going to be pretty dynamic, right? The one fun thing about our job is we do get to blow guns up, so that on purpose, right? So that's a lot of fun. We do barrel instruction with these where we block the barrel and we fire a round right underneath it to watch how they destroy and how they come apart, or if they contain the pressure or don't come apart. where all that pressure goes. And they're designed that if you have a bore obstruction and the gun blows up, that all that stays away from the shooter. And that's a requirement. So that is the fun part of the job. But back to the 716, we fired 3,000 rounds of our high pressure at 78 kpsi through our 716. 3,000 rounds, didn't have any issues. We cut 2 opposing bolt lugs off the bolt to try to make it fail, and at 5,000 rounds we just stopped. Now we've got more work to do, before we say that, and that is not to validate that I just said you could take 308 high pressure and run into your pre-64 your pre-64 Winchester, right? But I'm just saying, I'm telling you, companies haven't validated or proofed their weapons to higher pressures because they've had no need to. So, yes, sir. So how close is the Fury to the 6.8? They're both running at the exact operating pressure. They're doing different projectiles and different powders, just like any other load. But it's the exact same cartridge, made on the same line and everything, same dimensions, all that. Yes, sir. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Are you talking the automatic rifle? Yeah, I don't. It won't be commercially available, but I mean through agencies and through Fed agencies, it'll probably be available based on need. I think one question we also had from someone earlier was, will it be commercially available? If you have an SOT, or will it be commercially available in a single shot version like the FN with their 249 and 240? I don't know on the commercial SOT. I can tell you not immediately. I don't see a situation where in the next 15 years we're doing anything from a single shot perspective, because that takes a redesign. It's not simply just a limiting factor, and it has to go to a closed bolt system. And if you think about it, those types of things happen in the weapons world when revenues pretty much run out on something and we're getting that last little squeeze. All right, so hopefully we're not in a position where revenues running out. This we need a last little squeeze. So I got time for one more. Good to go. All right, so you want to help me move this off? And I'm going to turn you over to Doug. And Doug's probably going to fire the first 2 or 3 rounds semi, so you can see the semi capability on the gun. And then he'll move over to full auto, and you can see her run. Eyes and ears, please, if you don't have them on. Doug Alvin, ladies and gentlemen. Right in the middle of it. No, I'll be alright. Credit sunscreen in the eyes. First time I opened the whole presentation. There you go. I do appreciate everything that everyone's done to come out here and support this event. I'm very thankful for what you do for SIG. I'm very thankful for you being a part of our family. I do appreciate the fact that you came down here to listen to me. Thank you very much, and I hope you have great Freedom Days. If we can get the mothers that we identified with their sons or daughters to come up here, if you want to stick around and watch them fire, you can come up to this position and watch them fire. And then I identified you and your son as well before the show, sir. If you guys come down, we'll go ahead and get them up here and get everyone to fire. If you're with your loved ones and you're going to film, you can film off to the side and we'll put you over in position. But guys, thank you so much, and I hope you got enough out of this and it's worth your time. Thank you.
Did that area just come out?
Yes, this variant did come out.
Okay, gotcha.
6 Pro.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, okay. What are you doing? Single act? You want to start first or you want to go right into it?
Thank you.
I don't ever fire it because it's a nice ass handgun, you know.
I don't like the double action on that gun. Like it's
I shot the competition one.
Mile take up, and that thing's at least 11 rounds.
The let out was so light I could hardly tell.
That's similar to that, but I feel like that's got a different trigger kit.
Yeah, I almost didn't like how light the let out was.
Really?
Like the let out click was like air.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I was dumping it to try to like feel that.
Yeah, almost like feeling that little notch when you let it out.
The sight picture on that, you've got to keep the sight picture under what you're shooting. That's not like the first 3 that went off is top of the plate, bottom of the plate, and it ding.
The competition one I shot, because I shot the other one on the left, I forgot which one was which. I pegged them.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But I don't figure I would actually be in the market to buy the competition gun, but the 226 I actually like.
I think if I did, I would go with the Legion. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, right? But a little dusty? Is that a little dusty? Yeah, Well, I don't know how much of that I got on film. That was a crazy dust storm that kicked up out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that was all about.
That was like all brown for a second. None of us could see shit. Here another one. Looks like we're gonna shoot the 322. 22. Yeah, let's shoot that one. What is this one? 322 LR. Different fire source. All the same. Yeah.
What do you think?
I love it.
It's got cool, right?
Yeah. I just bought FN 502.
Which one you want, brother? I got 4.
carry. Next step down from the full size. How you doing? Good. What do you want to try? I'm John. I want to try.
Hey, Facebook. Start recording.
Can't try this one unless you have a black rifle. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a little high. I had to aim at the top of the steel. To hit in the middle.
The irons on that, the one, everything.
Real long trigger for the first shot, single action after that.
I'm running this thing. Yeah.
That was the P320 AKG Classic. That was very nice. It was a really nice little gun. Such a short little package. Fun time here.
Yeah, it's my teaching gun. I broke it. I've never seen it. How's it going? All right.
Nice shooting. What'd you think?
I love it.
Yeah?
What's the MSRP on that boy? How much does that one cost? Thank you, sir.
People still like the what even?
I love it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
One with an optic, one with 320 carry. It's the Legion series. One with an optic, one without.
X series lead.
With the optic?
Yes.
For about $300 more.
The AXG?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I like that a lot.
I do too.
I like that a little bit. I like that a lot more than I shot at the carry version of the Legion. I shot it like shit. Yeah.
I did shoot the carry version of, I shot the carry version of the Legion.
Yeah.
And actually, it felt pretty good in my hand.
Yeah.
But the AXG, that's the only gun I've shot twice here. I had to go back and hit it again.
I shot the X5 mine, but I didn't all 10.
I stepped up the first time. The guy in front of me was like, he wasn't mad. He just, until he doesn't shoot a lot, and he was trying to get in front of me like people were judging him.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're kind of a little bit used to it.
Yeah, and he was shooting. He's like, man, I don't know what to do. I can't find a hit point. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Well,
calm down.
I kind of felt that on that last one because I pegged the silhouette and I was like, okay, we're good. And then I shot the small one, shot again, missed, and I realized I hit the target below the one I was aiming on, and then I started holding over. So, you know, not our weapons are not sighted in.
Well, I shot that the first time I hit that silhouette. It was like 9 out of 10.
It'd be interesting to see how many rounds all those weapons went through today. Yeah, well, it's probably the same ones they're using all weekend too. I wonder if they're even gonna go home, take them and clean them after this. I hit up that golf cart, so it was pretty sweet. Just It's a huge shooting facility. I would say it's probably like altogether. How many acres do you think this whole thing is? 300 acres?
I'd say every bit of it.
Yeah, and then they have a cool little golf cart thing that's carpooling everybody up and down the road for all the different shooting lanes. And that's where we started off. Little vendors handing out free things. I think Timothy was definitely one of all of our favorites here today. But we're going to go shoot the Sig Cross PRS version that I didn't even know they made. So maybe compare that to that Sequence and see how it does.
Second dot, left that. If you were a lefter, you would have understood that. All right, brother. Good. Hi. See it? One more time.
It's already gone. It's already gone.
Who's next?
Hey, Nick. Hey, Nick, take this.
Which target are you looking at? What we're going to do, you want to go for the 277. Thank you. Octagon, that's on the bottom left side of the floor at 500. Bottom left side of the floor. Hold towards the left of it. Nice, good hit. Good hit. Good shot. Good hit. Second down. Awesome. 4,500 for this? No, 25. 2,500. Okay. Awesome. And the scope is whatever you want to put on. I believe the rail comes with. Okay. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. Good to go. Shooting? I already shot up the recording.
I'm going to take a picture of it real quick.